Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Lorraine 15551. It's the Tier 8 French SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of crazib of LEM0N clan, and he's got the rotation device, gun lane drive, and a rammer. He's also got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of that 155mm howitzer. Now this Arty is capable of 680 alpha, and it will penetrate 45mm of armour with a 7.6 meters burst radius between 12.5 and 27 seconds of stun. It's gone straight to the aim, and it looks like he's actually aiming for the centre line, expecting an enemy tank to appear. Nobody in sight yet. Up! We've got our first victim. And it's an E65 Swilling. There we go. Just checking. Lined it up. And rounds out. Direct hit with his first shot. Now this is the Arty that was based on the Lorraine 40-ton tank. They made 2 versions. One in 1950, which didn't actually pass muster, so they decided not to go with it. In fact, they did a second design in 1951, and that was cancelled as well because, of course, they didn't go ahead with the Lorraine 40-ton tank. So it is actually quite fast. It's the same speed as a medium tank. Zips about the battlefield at 60 kilometers an hour. That tree's gone down. It's been knocked down by artillery, by a HE round. You can see that the roots are showing. So somebody is obviously sitting behind that tree. Yeah, it's a usual trick. Arty players don't fall for it, and the BZ-75 takes the direct hit. Now I get the impression that crazib has actually decided to relocate to the railway line, mainly because that BZ-75 rather, is pushing up the map as fast as he can. That actually we're showing, that's better, showing the names instead of the actual types of vehicles. There's the 65 Swilling. Rounds out. Lands right in front of him, but it still stuns him. Yes, this 155mm actually, lots of enemy tanks there together. It does have the same alpha as the Tier 9, the 155-55, so it's actually quite useful in that sense. We can see that the enemy is pushing, so we fire around in at the Panther 2, and he does get stunned. And we've got the communications expert working with a hefty amount of assist after that shot alone. In fact, he's up to 1,650 so far. So it looks like the enemy do have a lot of tanks up on top of the hill. Now, if we send a round in there, more than likely it's going to hit something, but we can see the XM57. We're dialed in. He fires. Oh, he looks away. Now, obviously, we only found out that he got a critical hit out of that. If we'd actually seen the shell, we might have actually seen if it disappeared or not, because it might have been a direct hit. We can see our E from C again. He's the only one up there on our team at the moment. There are some tanks behind him, but obviously they're not willing to go up the hill because they're probably a bit worried about getting wiped out. Okay, switching over to the west side, we can see an Object 430Us. He's backing up. That's about right. And it's a direct hit. So he's got at least one hit that's not showing in the figures. So even though it's showing 314 hit points of damage, he's probably got quite a bit more than that. The standard reload, 28.76 seconds. His reload is just under 24. Okay, enemy Cobra spotted just the other side of the center line. There he is. Okay, well, he's decided he's not going to shoot there. In fact, I think he's decided he's going to go over to the other side. In fact, the west side. Remember where that tree was fallen? Somebody must be behind that. Rounds out. And it's a direct hit! Oh, that's useful. That's why we watched to see what happens to the shells. Because obviously there was somebody sitting behind that tree and he got hit. Yes, whenever you see that sign with the roots uprooted, it may conceal enemy tanks that are actually on the tree line, but it certainly won't conceal them from an Arty round coming in from above. Again, he fires without looking, so we don't know if that shell hit the enemy as well. Okay, loaded, rounds out. A direct hit with that one as well. Now I get the feeling he knocked the tree down there to act as a decoy. Always useful, actually, if the enemy is on counter battery, that you knock down things which might give the enemy the impression that you're somewhere else. If they do try to counter battery based on trees that are knocked down, they might get disappointed. Rounds out the Pershing and another direct hit. Okay, the Pershing was around about that bush. Notice how he's using the mini-map to say, where should I look for sighting of the enemy? Oh, and the only enemy that's turned up there is a Panzer 58 Mutz. Rounds out. And yes, that's some splash, and he is trying to counter battery. And he fired where we were. Yes, because crazib has moved, no chance they'll get some counter battery. And the 430U just got taken out by our XM57. I've just noticed on the minimap, I don't know if you can see it, but look at the west side of the map, there's an SU-130PM and he's missing a huge amount of hit points. That was probably the tank that we blind hit. And if, of course, he did actually get a blind hit on that guy, he possibly did penetrate him. We'll have to check that in the end of battle results. We're 2 up on the enemy now. Looking towards the center line, but there's that Panzer 58 once again, and he went down. It looks like we're doing well on the west side of the map because the enemy are falling one by one on that side. We're now 4 tanks up, and it looks like our Batchat 25 TAP has been able to move far enough south to actually spot for our team. And that's another direct hit there on the T28 prototype. So he's playing this good. He's actually hitting as many of the enemies as he can, as quickly as he can, so he can pick up lots of potential tanks that were taken out by his teammates for a Confederate. And another hit. So there's still 6 enemy tanks out there, but they're being boxed in towards the southeast corner of the map, and there's 2 of them up on top of the hill. Now we were moving about as we were aiming. Okay, it's loaded now. Death Star, rounds out. Yes, it hit the front of the Death Star, but it stunned both of them. And he did pick up stun assist off the Charioteer. He's trying to get closer, because obviously the closer you get, the quicker the reaction whenever you fire a shot. And the Death Star's decided to go all in, and he's moved. And in fact, he just got wiped out, and so did the Charioteer. And now there's only 2 enemies remaining. And their Arty just got spotted. The M53, M55, he's down in the lake area. And here's the last tank. And the XM57 goes down, and that is the end of the game. It's a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for crazib of LEM0N in the Lorraine 15551. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11 in that game. And he got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. In fact, he didn't get a single kill in the game, which meant that every tank that he hatched or hit or stunned actually did end up giving him that Confederate. Now, quick check to see that SU-130 PM. Yes, he did hit him, but for 648 hit points. So I think that may have been 2 hits. And yes, in fact, it was 2 stuns. So the first shot that went in, the blind hit, didn't penetrate, but it did actually do severe damage. And the second one also did damage. So there wasn't a blind hit there or blind penetration. If we look at team score, oh, by the way, the win rate before we go over, 3,123, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in this game actually was that M, who got 3,885 hit points of damage. Sadly, he didn't survive. Second highest was the XM57, who got 3,746 hit points of damage. He got a tank sniper. And in third place, it's crazib. He managed to get, he's showing a different name here, but he actually managed to get 3,058 hit points of damage. And of course, picked up the Confederate. When it came to kills, we can see the top scorer was, in fact, the XM57 with 4 kills. 2 kills went to the Object 705 and the Wizzy 111-1 FT. And everyone else got 1 or no kills. And, of course, crazib got none. But only 4 members of the enemy team actually managed to get kills in that one. And when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the XM57 managed 1,277. And yes, he's got 1,175 and 1,148 goes to the Batchat 25 TAP. They were the only 3 tanks who managed to make over 1,000 base in the game. The Batchat got the Patrol GT. The 122 TM got a Spartan. He fired 17 rounds, got 10 direct hits on the enemy and no penetrations, but he did get 19 splashes. 3,058 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 10 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he certainly got 3,381 hit points of stun assist off 19 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made 23,497 credits profit from the game and 1,762 experience points out of it as well. So a very decent game in the Lorraine 15551 on Prokhorovka. And yes, he certainly did earn his ace tanker in that one. I hope you enjoyed that replay. We've got another one coming in from crazib as well. I keep saying his name wrong, but sorry about that. But yes, we've got another replay from him. So do stick around and you might enjoy that one as well. If you do enjoy this replay, please give it a like and thank you for watching.